Hi, everybody. Welcome to the ABP Press Publisher Roundup with Matt Joudrey and my co-host Dani Arieli.
Oh,
Um, just as a reminder, this is the second roundup that we've done, and we are doing, and it's an unscripted discussion about ABP Press books, where we leak some information, some new releases, some exciting events. And the focus is really just pulling focus on our books and the people who write them. So we're going to get started right away for April's. Dani, what have we got on the docket?
all right. Yeah. So, welcome to April, everyone. Today, I wanted to put a focus on poetry interwoven with imagery. So, we have a little selection that we've curated here to specifically highlight. We have Naked Pictures, Acutely Life, Pistachios in My Pocket, Gibbous Moon, the Overhead series, Tree Talk, and Children Shouldn't Use Knives.
Great
So, I'd like
collection
to
of
delve
books.
into these. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we're talking about, well, first of all, that we're talking about poetry because, as most people who are in the industry knows, poetry often it takes a backseat to fiction, and I really want to pull focus on some poetry. So I'm glad we're doing this. And then the second thing is that At Bay Press is known for publishing some really unique poetry,
Yeah.
especially poetry that incorporates illustrations, photographs, and artwork. And I think the first one we should talk about is the very lovely book, Acutely Life by Sue Sorensen, which is a collection of her poetry, and it pulls focus on the artists throughout a long period of time that were a major influence or did influence her poetry writing. And so you've got, folks like the great pianist Bill Evans, who worked with Miles Davis. And there's, photographs of these individuals in, in the work. And of course, there's a beautiful photograph on the cover as well that's been used. So
Yes.
I really love these types of things. What was one of the other ones that we had? There was a Gibbous Moon.
Gibbous Moon, correct.
Yeah, so Gibbous Moon is by Dennis Cooley and Michael Matthews. And Gibbous Moon is one of the only, if not, I'm pretty actually I'm gonna make this statement, and I could be
Mhm.
wrong, but I believe it is the only book of poetry that has ever been nominated for the McNally Robinson Book of the Year Award. I'm pretty
Wow.
confident about that statement.
Mhm.
Um, and of course, Gibbous Moon is, um, in my opinion, one of the finest works that Dennis Cooley has ever put out. And Dennis Cooley has an extensive um, number of poetry books in publication. And of course, Michael Matthews is the photographer, and his abstract photographs married with Dennis's poetry
Mhm.
is unbelievable. It's an essential book. It is absolutely one of the finest books of poetry, in my opinion, ever published. It needs to be read, and it needs to be experienced. And the binding of the book and the craftsmanship of the book is second to none. So,
Wonderful.
and then I think we also had Naked Pictures in there. What a
Do.
great title
Yes.
by
Yes, I love the
Paulette
title.
Dubé.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's interesting about Naked Pictures, and I think that a lot of people don't know this, but all the photographs were taken by Paulette, the poet.
Mhm.
And they're these beautiful naturalist photographs of Jasper. And these photographs were taken before the devastating fires,
Mm.
the
Yeah.
wildfires that happened in Jasper, and
Mhm.
basically wiped out all of the like all of Jasper. It was
Yeah.
devastating wildfires. So what Paulette has managed to do, in addition to her stunning collection of poetry, is that she has also captured a beautiful um, ethereal time capsule of what Jasper looked like before the wildfires. And this is
Yeah.
what this is what publishing does, is that it does create a moment in time where um, this is how the world was at that
Yeah,
moment. And I love that.
absolutely.
What was one of the other
Yeah.
titles that we had on there, Danny?
Yeah, we have Tree Talk.
Oh my God, Tree Talk. Yeah, by Ariel Gordon.
Yes.
This is just one of the most beautiful spare books. So what Ariel did is Ariel took and built these little paper leaves and
Hmm.
dangled them on this gorgeous elm tree on
Yeah.
Sherbrooke in Winnipeg, and then
Mm.
invited passerbys over the course of a weekend to write their thoughts about the tree. And then
So
she
beautiful.
took those leaves off the tree. There's just thousands of them, and
Yeah.
she read them and then wrote poetry based on what these strangers had written about the tree. Did we
Huh.
capture everything there, or was there?
No, we
Oh,
have a
right,
few more. Yes.
the
So I
Overhead
have to start
series.
Oved series. Yes.
How can I overlook the Overhead series? It took nearly 7 years to complete. The
Wow.
first book in the series was Clouds. Second book was Stars. The
Hmm.
third book is Trees.
Hmm.
And the concept by the author Lucy Hemphill, who is from the Naguacsala Nation out in Port Hardy, BC. She's of
Hmm.
Kwakwaka'wakw descent. Um, she captured the beautiful things in her region overhead. So the stars overhead, the clouds overhead, and the trees that were endemic to her nation. And then they were illustrated by the great illustrator Michael Joyle,
Hmm.
who, in my opinion, poured his absolute heart and soul into this book. And you feel that there are 20 amazing graphite illustrations in each book, so a grand total of 60 illustrations. And of course, Lucy's beautiful verse and prose about her indigenous life and culture. And it's again another essential read.
Yeah.
Um, what else do we have on the list, Annie?
I also have Pistachios in My Pocket, another title I'm quite a fan of.
You and me both. And for those that aren't aware of what Pistachios in My Pocket is about, it is by it is the debut book of poetry by Sare Farmand. She's of Iranian descent, and it captures the narrative and in poetic form of her family's escape from the fall of Tehran a few days before it happened, and it details that experience, and then of course the resiliency of these people in sort of transitory life,
Yeah.
and not having a home but loving their home. A little bit of news about Pistachios in My Pocket. It officially sold out recently, so it's in a new printing,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
that's on its way to stores right now. So please, please,
Wonderful.
please go and order it and ask for that book. Did we miss anything, Danny?
We have one more, which is Children Shouldn't Use Knives. This is
Oh,
from.
wow. Yeah. Children
Yeah.
Shouldn't Use Knives won a number of awards. It's by Cindy Mochizuki. Well, Cindy Mochizuki does the illustrations,
Mhm.
and Shirley Camia is the poet. This is not, by the way, Shirley's first book. Shirley has a number of beautiful books of poetry out, but this is certainly unique in that she partnered with Cindy um, in creating these lovely, heartfelt graphite illustrations. And
Mhm.
each poem is sort of the jumping off point is a famous quote from a famous children's story, children's book.
Mhm.
And it deals with the memory, like childhood memories, first ice cream cone, first
Mhm.
fall,
Yeah. Yeah.
like these types of things and how they evolve over time. These are just wonderful books that are meant to be read and enjoyed, and I'm really happy that we pulled focus on some poetry this time around.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for delving into these wonderful collections of poetry.
Yeah, well, thanks for keeping me on track, Danny.
Of course.
Yeah. So this ends number two roundup for April.
For April,
Thanks
yeah.
for everybody for listening. And Danny, I think next one we're going to try to
Mhm.
do a special one where we're going to answer some questions about the publishing process for upcoming authors. So stay tuned in
Very
May
exciting.
for roundup number three. All
Wonderful.
right,
Well, thank you for
from
tuning
Winnipeg,
in.
bye from Matt Joudrey and Danny.
From the
You
GTA.
from Toronto. Bye
Yep.
from Danny. Okay. Have a great
Have
night, everybody.
a
Bye
great
bye.
night, guys.